Dear diarrhea full of shit. Just play along with myself and I. No one else. So I'm so legit. Just watch me some ASMR before I lay awake all night, plotting my revenge on the world. Watched my future boo thing, my future wife, Kaydee-bug, blah, she's cute and shit, but her shit just kind of sucks. Like I said, her fans come for the dog, they stay for the dog. But Little Miss, my future wife, fucked up your hair. I'm 7 minutes in. I'll watch the rest probably. Right now, maybe later. And your tits look nice. Who's the dude? Is that someone you're dating? Married to? I don't see a wedding ring on your finger, but he's probably cool with that. Goddamn, woman, you could do so much better. Yeah. But we should do an ASMR video where I fuck your titties. You got decent titties. Wouldn't mind one like your friend there, my future wife, Kaydee-bug, did, sporting a no bra. Smuggling the babies. Anyway, she certainly knows how to make her point. Anyway. Yeah. Well, I guess green peas with an areola the size of a quarter. But, anyway. Maybe $50. Hey, Bob's. How you doing? So. Hey, fucko. How you doing? I don't think you meant to, show them, but I took the picture, the way technology works and stuff. It's kind of hard to tell. It's in the right spot. Okay. What's her name? Because my future wife, Kaydee-bug, she got the camel toe thing going on. Now all she needs to do is wear well, never mind, I'm not gonna talk all stupid, but thin material. Anyway. Anyway, whatever, I just thinking. Go ahead and lean over. Yeah, just walk around this way, and it'll be some dude. Motherfucking bitch, you. So much for that. Do you take me for a fucking simptastic fool? You think I'm just going to wait around for you to quit having your fun? Those goth clubs on Friday and Saturday night, where all the action is. But anyway, what was I talking about? Lean over like you do, just yeah. But what was I talking? Oh yeah, Kleber. Yeah, yes. I swear, unless I was seeing things, her pants was kind of like zoop. Oh, shit. I didn't save it or anything. I should have. I got a few pictures of her. I should have saved some more. You know, she's but she's got the look. No, 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 no. She got the look. And I like the one where it's all where they're all like but you know there's some other ones where it's like you know but she started you know but she's just like fuck that social media shit. TGIF. I almost got all my stuff done. My see, like I said, this is a fairly physical job. There's a lot of climbing of ladders, not only pushing of buttons and turning of knobs, but climbing of ladders, shoveling of sand, and I've only been there like 2 weeks, and we kind of already had to make some modifications and repairs and whatnot. The one dude, he told me, he's like the main mechanic guy. He said, anything at all until you get, you know, more comfortable and familiar with these machines, call me, you know. But I'm learning. You know what I mean? I mean, these aren't like, you know, engines, right? They're just, you know, bearings, rollers, hoses, electric motors, chains, belts. It's pretty simple stuff. But anyway, and so like I said, you know, like 2 years from now, you know, I'll be able to drive. You know, I'll have my Class A license back. They've got a truck and trailer, you know, for me to use if I need to do that. Get my permit, pass the written test, and the driving test. Like I said, they've got like a sister company. They've got kind of their fingers in a few different pies. So I could help out over here, over there, at that site, at this site. You know, I can drive the truck. I can deliver aggregate. I can deliver equipment. I can operate the loader. I can operate the machines. I can fix the machines. So I will be a high value, you know, blue collar type dude. So, yes. But I still need to get some shit, but when I'm all decked out, see, I'm me, right? So I'm smarter than your average dude, right? And I'm a dumbass, so figure that out. But I got me a hat, and a hard hat with an extra wide brim so I can, like, modify shit. Now, I'm thinking I'm going to need to use Velcro, because if I use the screws or bolts, if something actually fell on my head hard enough and it broke the suspension system, well, that would be on the thing, the brim there. But I think, because I got some stuff, right? So I need on the one plant, you know, it's indoors. And it's in a little shack, but on the other plant, you know, and I'm the new guy, right? Plus that position's already taken. Plus I'm going to be a loader operator, but I can fill in and do, you know, whatever. It's just like there's not a lot of people, you know what I mean? It's kind of a smaller type of deal. But there's a total, when it's all said and done, there's gonna be, because they're kind of switching some shit around. There's gonna be, let's see, 1, 2, 3 loader operators. I'm gonna be one of them. 2 plant operators. And, they might need to be hiring some more people. They have a welder that comes off site. He doesn't work there, but anyway. But I'm gonna get reconfigured on that, because the one dude, he told me, he's like, hey, you want to take some of this stuff home and, take it apart and put it back together and whatnot. We got lots of extra spare parts, so I'm going to do that. And I saw some big ass, welding rods. So I said, hey, I was taught to weld. It was a long time ago, I kind of need a refresher, but, one of these days after work on a Friday, you think I can stick around and get back up to speed on welding and shit? Because that's what I told him. I said, when it's all said and done, I need some time, obviously, because I'm the FNG, the fucking new guy. But I would like to be a valuable employee. And they need the help, so it's not like I'm, in competition for his job, you know what I mean? But, because he, like I said, they have 2 different sites that are like right next to each other, and then they kind of have another one. Actually, they have 4. They have a 4th one. So, but I don't know much about that. I'll have to ask about that one, because I needed to go to there because of some stuff and some shit. But anyway, I want to get me a big ass, wide brim. It's I got a, it's not a sombrero, but it's a like a Tilly hat with a bigger brim. So I need to be able to take that off and wash it and whatnot. But I want to be able to not wear sunglasses just because they're kind of a penny ass to wear. So I want the hard hat, because we do have to wear that. We don't have to wear vests. We just wear, an orange shirt. So the hard hat with the big ass brim. I bought me some swimming goggles that I just wear around my neck. And if the wind's blowing in the wrong direction or something or whatever, I just pull those up and put them over my eyes. I might look kind of goofy, but I give a fuck, not no none. Because, sunglasses or safety glasses, they need to be sealed. They'll just go around. I need a different type of safety glass, okay? Sunglasses or safety glasses, if I was grinding, some metal or something, would be just fine. But I'm trying to keep the dust and the dirt out, so I wear swim goggles sometimes. And I thought I actually bought some just in case. I had some sunglasses, but I don't want to wear those. I don't want, in case it's an overcast day or a cloud, the sun goes behind a cloud, That's why I wanted the big sombrero type thing. Plus it shades my neck. Plus I have another sheet that I'm going to modify to keep my neck covered. I have those little forearm covers to keep my forearms, from the sun. And I poked a hole in them so I can stick my thumb through it and wear them down lower over the top of my hand. And if I need to use my hands, I just pull my hands up. I don't really like to wear gloves just because I like to have the precision and dexterity of, my fingers. I've got gorilla mitts, I've got thick skin on my hands. That's just the way that is. If they get dirty, I'll just pick up some dirt and kind of scrub it between my hands and then, wipe it on my pants. I mean, it's a fairly dirty job, I come home and I shower right away. But that's just how I do, and like I said, if I need to grab something, it's just how I do. I've got thick skin, and I build calluses easy. I mean, when I was a kid playing in the sandbox, I don't remember how old I was, but however old you are when you play in the sandbox, so 4 or 5 years old. I told my mom and dad, I said, I got sand under my skin. They said, those are calluses, How does a little kid develop calluses? But anyway, so yeah. And this kid, he's 20 years old, I can work dark circles around him. You know, he's been there 2 years, and so anyway, I could say something, but I'm gonna skip it. I will say this: he's impressed with the way I shovel. I shovel well. Yes. Like I said, I'm a beast. And I'm smart about it. You know, I use my whole body. You know, so. But he's got gorilla mitts too. You know, because we had to pull this belt back. You know, and it had a couple tons of sand on it. You know, we had to pull it back in reverse. You know, so he just, like I said, he's kind of got a learning disability. So he's, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he's kind of like a, oh, whatever, you know, he's not dumb at all, but he just kind of gets a little confused sometimes. His brain starts going this way and that way and every which way. But because if he were dumb, you know, he couldn't, he'd be a hazard to himself. But anyway, no gloves. He doesn't wear gloves, you know, so I'm like, yeah, I got you, you whippersnapper, you know, so. But anyway, he grabbed this belt, you know, and was pulling on it, and I'm like, you need me to spot you, you know, because it was, you know, so. I'm like, I can hang with you. You've been doing this for 2 years? Watch this. So, anyway. So that covers my forearms. I wear a watch so I can tell time, because I take my phone to work with me, but I turn it off and keep it in my car behind my lumbar support. So I shut it off so the battery's not going, because it'll get hot in there even with a reflective sun visor. But I don't want that in my pocket, you know, because it'll probably break eventually. So the only things I keep in my pocket is my pocket knife, my booger rag, and a calculator in case I need to split the difference, you know, on RPMs or whatever, and eventually I'll use that for, you know, tonnage and whatnot, which I'll eventually be able to just work out in my head when I'm loading trucks, and I'll have my knee board that pilots use, and I'll have my pin, you know, just attached up there. And well, actually I'm going to have a pencil, so I can, you know, it doesn't run out of ink, and then I can just sharpen it with my pocket knife. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a carpenter's pencil, but it might be, because those are designed to be sharpened with big old honkin' clonkin', you know, razors and pocket knives, you know, as opposed to a delicate little, you know, pencil for, you know, that you'd use in school. So I'll just keep a carpenter's pencil in my shirt pocket. And I'll keep track of the tonnage, you know, how much we're accumulating, and if I need to add the total, you know, and if a special order comes in, you know, and blah, 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 blah. And I'll have my notebook in there in case I need more paper, you know, and stuff like that. Steel-toed, they're not boots, they're shoes, but they look like heavy duty. I don't have my pants yet, but I want to buy like some brown, you know, like heavy duty work pants. I'd like to find those in cargo pants as opposed to carpenter's pants. But we'll see what I can do. Because like I said, I still take all my shit with me, but I leave it in the car. You know, I leave my wallet in the car too. I don't need that. But, yeah. So, I guess that's all I gotta say, baby. Hey, yay. I dig it, you know. I'm not busting my ass. I don't have to get up super early, you know. I usually get up an hour early just on my own so I can hump my pillow, you know, for an hour. One day, actually, I humped my pillow, you know, because sometimes I'll blow my load, sometimes I won't. Hump my pillow, blow my load, went to work, came back, and humped my pillow again. That's just be my body responding, you know, like, are we doing this? Are we doing this? Are we doing this? You know, because I'm starting to be more like active and shit, you know, so, you know, the diesel engine is starting to rev. That was a really stupid thing to say. That probably sounded really stupid. It sounded stupid to me because I heard myself say it. The guy behind my eye he's trying to go to sleep, right? You know, he checks out before me usually because he's the guy behind my eye, so. He's like, what? Did I just hear you say that, you fucking faggot? The diesel engine is starting to rev. Oh, wow. Damn, dog. Because remember, dear online family and friends, I'm a dimly lit bulb. I'm a diesel engine. I don't rev very high, but I got a lot of torque. And I can lug like a motherfucker all day. You know? But anyway. Yeah, I'm pretty sad and alone, pissed off, hating on life, you know, plotting my revenge on the world and stuff, but I just always, you know, I just think of that sweet ass. Oh, shit. Kaydee bug, Kaydee boo, Kaydee boo 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 bug, buggy boo, bugaboo. I might pretend to forget my lunch or whatever. Say I only eat once a day, right? But I'll have you drive down there, you know, and bring me my lunch, quote unquote, so everybody can see that you're my wife. So get out the car with your little plack little ass. Well, not too little, you know, like I said, you know. But thanks, doll. Give you a little peck, you know, on the mouth. A little rubby, and a real quick upwards, just. I'm in the construction industry now, you know. That's right, boys. Whistle all the cat calls you want. She's mine. I go home to her. She makes me dinner. Touches my wiener. Guess that's all I got to say about that.